Once upon a time there was an old man who lived in the middle of a giant jungle inhabited by nobody. He was a really famous philosopher, known by all the books he wrote about all his investigations and ideas he made throughout his life. However, he never wanted any of that popularity, leading him to isolate from society in the giant jungle just for his own good. Life in nature was simple, no worries and no problems. He was happy. However, he did feel kinda lonely. He missed interacting with other people, but what he didn't know is that that lonely routine was gonna change forever. One day, in one of his daily night walks, he was observing the beautiful dark sky. Today the moon was full and the stars were shining like never before. However, there was one star that looked different than the others. This star was bigger and brighter. It was almost impossible to lose track of it. Then, as a token of appreciation, he decided to give that one big star a name. He named the star Mary. A day passed and the old man as always took a walk with the night, and as he expected, the big star was still there just as he remembered. In fact, it didn't look like it moved from that place at all. Mary was there to give some company to the old man, and he was very happy to see such a miracle wandering through the sky just for him. Mary made him forget about his loneliness. The days went by and Mary was shining as much as she could be. Every night he studied the star to understand how she could stay in the same spot all the time. He never understood why, but he noticed that Mary was becoming bigger each day. He was getting worried of what Mary was turning into, until one day, the old man woke up from his sleep. It was another day as always. He couldn't stop thinking about Mary and what was gonna happen to her if she became too big. That moment he heard a giant explosion. The old man went outside as fast as he could. He could see the smoke coming from exactly the same place where he investigated Mary. He kept running and running to see what happened there. Once he got there, he saw a gigantic hole in the middle of the hill. It seems that Mary was never a star. She was a meteor about to crash in this exact place. However, something shocking was above that meteor. He couldn't believe his eyes of what he was seeing. The meteor was holding a baby. The days went by. The old man took the important decision of adopting the meteor baby. She was a beautiful little girl with a sparkling smile and a silky blonde hair. He never thought of the idea of being a father, but he was willing to treat her like her own daughter. He wanted to be the best fatherly figure to her new baby girl named Mary. Years were passing by. The old man never felt so happy. He saw his own daughter growing like a flower. He was proud of Mary. However, this happiness wasn't gonna last long enough. Mary was 13 years old by that time, and something wrong was happening to her. She was sick, really sick. The old man took care of her as much as he could possibly do, but she was getting worse every day. The old man couldn't hold it anymore, so he decided to call a doctor immediately since this illness was getting out of hand. But sadly, the doctor did not bring any good news. Mary had a tumor. Mary was really sick. The doctor promised the old man to try to cure her illness, but the doctor warned him that the poor girl could die since the tumor was developing for a couple of years. The poor old man accepted that destiny. He couldn't stand seeing his own daughter suffering from that tumor, so he decided to put her life at risk. In one hand she could be cured, but in the other hand she could die. He couldn't take that thought away from his head. That day he spent with his daughter as much as he could. He made her favorite food, read her favorite book. He did everything to make her as happy as possible, but the old man was crying for the cruel destiny her daughter was being put into. That night the old man heard a knock on the door. The old man opened the door. He was presented with a strange-looking figure. He was incapable to tell their appearance, for they looked like a silhouette. The strange figure asks him why he was crying. He explains what was going on with her daughter and on what horrible destiny she was being put into. The mysterious figure comforts him, then after letting him blow up some steam, the figure offers him something that shocks him. They offer him a different option of curing his daughter, a way of saving her that doesn't involve the cruel possibility of death. The old man kept crying, but this time with tears of joy. He was blessed by the mysterious person's words and he couldn't help but dance for how happy he was. The old man let the person in. He led their way into Mary's room. Then the mysterious person told him to stay out of the operation, for it needed all their concentration to make it properly. The old man gladly let them go by its own, so he went to the living room to wait for them to finish. However, the hours went by and the old man was reading some books to pass the time while he was waiting. Half of a day passed, and so he got exhausted from waiting. He went to her daughter's room to check if the operation was still going. He knocked the door softly to not interrupt the person, but he never got answered back. He slowly started knocking the door even louder, so loud to the point that it was ridiculous that he wasn't getting an answer. So he decided to get in, and therefore he was met with something really unexpected. The mysterious person was gone and his daughter was left alone sitting on her bed. The old man couldn't see her properly, so he started getting closer to her. He wasn't getting any answers from the old man's call, but when he got close enough to see her properly, he saw the horror.
Mary's face was stolen. Mary's face was stolen. Mary's face was stolen. Mary's face was stolen. Her daughter was alive, but her face was stolen. She no longer looks like his daughter. She no longer looks like his daughter. She no longer looks like his daughter. The creature took away her face to put theirs in it. He can't remember her. His daughter is gone. His daughter is gone. 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 Gone.
Mary's face was stolen. She is no longer the shining star he remembers. Later that day, a meteor crashed close to a kid's house.